Hello everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. This time around I'm going to be using my Plasma Klinklang deck. A new deck that just kind of spawned with the release of Plasma Storm, so we'll get to see. This deck got a lot of hype as it was coming out. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I got a game with it here. We'll see what happens. We all know Plasma Klinklang is best used with its ability, Plasma Steel. That's what makes it so powerful. Once you get that into play, all of your metal Pokemon are immune to damage done by EX Pokemon, so it's kind of like all of your Pokemon have Sigilift's Safeguard ability, as long as they're metal. So it's a very powerful ability. It's just a matter of can you find the right attackers. And you can see my opponent's opening up with a Landorus EX. Discarded a bunch of interesting cards, like an EXP share, a Crushing Hammer, things we don't usually see with a Landorus, unless it's a Darkrai deck, but we'll find out. Crushing Hammer is probably my worst enemy with this kind of a deck, since there's no energy acceleration. You just kind of bank on the fact that, you're not going to get knocked out. So once you get your energy in play, you're good with it. But I do Heavy Ball here for... I'm going to grab another Klink. I want to get 2 into play. You never know nowadays. Your opponent could just drop a Verbank City Gym and a Laser, and then all it takes is a Catcher and a Hammerhead, and all of a sudden you can do 60 and knock out your Klink. So you need to get 2 Klinks into play early on to safeguard against that kind of stuff. But we'll see what my opponent does from here. They call him Angel, apparently. That's his screen name. But there is a Catcher. So this is scary. There's an N. And like I said, with Verbank, with Hypnotoxic Laser, it's just really, really scary to deal with. But I do get a Rare Candy and a Klinklang in hand. So I'm going to be able to get this thing out. Like I said, Plasma Steel shuts off all damage done to it by EXs, and all damage done to all of your metal Pokemon in general. So we're going to start to slow the game down a little bit. Now my Terrakion is a fighting Pokemon, so it does not get that added benefit, but it's got 130 points. It's only given up 1 prize, so now we completely just slowed the game down, and that's kind of what this deck does. In a format where everything revolves around rush, 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 aggro, attack with your EX as fast as possible, laser, laser, plus power, all that stuff. Klinklang just kind of goes, alright guys, chill. We're going to take this slowly. Now you're going to have to do something else besides attack with your big EX Pokemon. Plasma Steel is here, and you're not going to be able to hit me anymore, so find another strategy. And a lot of decks just don't have another strategy. And if they do, it revolves around Hypnotoxic Laser. But you can see, as my opponent hammerheads my Klink for 0, that my opponent does have 2 Terrakions out there, so he is well equipped for the situation. But I think, as we'll start to find out, Terrakion really isn't the best counter to Klinklang. It does 90 damage at most, which, is solid. It knocks it out in 2 hits, but knocking it out in 2 hits really is not good enough. Because you have to knock out that Plasma Klinklang, which means you're going to have to catch up that Klinklang, hit it for 90, and then what? Well, then the Klinklang probably switches to the bench, and then you're going to need another catcher. And then if you knock that one out, then, well, what's stopping me from getting another one into play? And that's exactly what the problem is. So right here, I just skyled for a Rare Candy. Got myself another Klinklang into play. This one's a Shift Gear Klinklang, so now I can move my metal energy around. Gives you some more flexibility with your attackers. Obviously, they go well together. The black and white Klinklang gets shielded from damage from EXs as well. There's another Crushing Hammer. Those could be really annoying, but my opponent did flip tails. And you can see 3 Terrakions. These are non-EX Pokemon. This could actually make things kind of difficult. Normally, you only have to deal with like 1, 2 non-EX attackers in decks like these. But 3 Terrakions could be kind of tough to deal with. I will admit that. And this is kind of the weakness of the Plasma Klinklang deck, it actually has several weaknesses. Obviously, the strength is that it's very good against EX Pokemon, and a lot of decks are just based around EXs, and you can win based on that. But honestly, if you're just facing a deck that just has a bunch of non-EX attackers, what do, man? You just kind of get wrecked. You know, even like a V-Create Victini would be bad. What else? You know, just like a Garchomp Altaria deck you'd probably lose to. And as weird as it sounds, you actually probably would. You lose to non-EX attackers because you're not really very strong against those decks. But that's why I include the black and white Klinklang in here and some max potions to give myself a shot versus those decks still. So I'm going to heavy ball for Registeel EX here. And it just seems like I am in a dominant position. I don't really feel like I can lose at this point, which is weird when you're tied 6-6 and you can say that. But I'm just going to triple laser all of his Terrakions until I knock them all out. He benched all of his Terrakions too early. That Landorus EX is in the active spot. He can only do 0 to the active and 30 to the Terrakion on my bench. So he will be able to knock out my Terrakion, but then what? He's still got 5 prizes left to take. And yep, he just hits for 0 and 30. And I am feeling on top of the world. My opponent also Junipered away a couple switches early on, and he played a third one. So that Landorus actually won't be moving for a while unless he has his 4th switch. And even if he does get his 4th switch, I can probably just catcher one of the Terrakions or even the Landorus again and keep it stuck there. Basically what I'm trying to say is he is stuck to be triple lasered to death by Registeel. So Registeel is a pretty nice card in this deck. Gives you a big bulky Pokemon that can spread damage. Maybe trap stuff active and hit the bench. Really good with Pokemon Catcher. And really good against these kind of decks, where all they really have is Terrakion to deal with you. So, yep, he finally takes down my Terrakion, which I'm not too concerned about. And I'm just going to attach a blend to my Klinklang. And I really don't need to do anything else besides triple laser. I've now done it 3 times. Pew, 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 lasers everywhere. Now those Terrakions are up to 90 damage. It's going to take 2 more. There's my blend energy. I use that so I can use Terrakion. Also, I can use Keldeo. I use Keldeo to get out of lasers so I can rush in and then play a switch and then get out of the poison. That's why Keldeo's here. It can also double as a fire counter since you run blends. And he did play an enhanced hammer. He discarded my blend, that jerk. And here is a heavy ball. See what he takes. A Terrakion EX. So it looks like this is like a pure fighting deck with 3 normal Terrakions, but they are not going to get to do anything. My opponent really has been behind on energy attachments the whole game as the Ultra Ball's away. The Terrakion EX and a Mewtwo and gets a Tornadus EX. That one really doesn't help that much. But, yeah, my opponent really has had a rough time this game, I have to admit. But you can just see the power of Plasma Klinklang here, being able to just shut down his offense completely. You know, normally Landorus EX is a very feared Pokemon. Like, if I didn't have that Plasma Klinklang out there, I would be scared. Just him hitting for 30 and 30 and then setting up my Registeel to get knocked out by Land's Judgment. That is horrifying. But now it's just kind of like, I don't know, like a big animal that's been declawed. You don't care anymore. What's it going to do? And triple laser, knock out all 3 Terrakions at once. And my opponent actually asked me, hey, how do you get those new packs? And this is actually an issue. People don't know that you actually need the new Plasma Storm codes. You can't actually buy the packs in the shop anymore. That's a real issue that people don't know about that. Pretty annoying. Honestly, they really needed to communicate that a little better. I get asked about that like every day still. So yeah, if you don't know, you need codes from the Plasma Storm set to get Plasma Storm booster packs online. You can't use from older sets. You can't use your Boundary Cross codes for Plasma Storm. Just doesn't work anymore. And that's how it's going to be for every set from now on. So here, you know, this game is pretty much wrapped up. I have 3 Klinklangs in play. A Registeel going to town against a Landorus and nothing else. So I I can't even think of a card he could drop here that would, you know, change the tide of the game. I really don't. I don't know at all. Like, even a V-Create Victini at this point wouldn't do enough. It would just, I'd probably just knock it out. I'd catch it and then move my energy up to Registeel and Protect Charge, honestly. Anything else, I don't know. Everything else takes too long to power up. Maybe a laser, but you can see I have Switch, Escape Rope, Keldeo. I have ways to deal with everything. And, yeah, this is just kind of what Plasma Klinklang does. It either kind of wins in a dominant fashion or, you know, it just kind of loses really badly. That's my experience with it. My opponent has not done anything in a very long time. I wonder if he lagged out or something. This happens a lot on Pokemon TCG Online. Someone just randomly lags out or runs out of time, something like that. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the program right now. It looks like I'm going to win for sure. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about this Plasma Klinklang deck? I've had mixed results with it. I really am not sure if it's good or not. Maybe I haven't built it correctly, and there we go. I win. But, yeah, all I can say about the deck is that it's weird. And its wins feel very clunky. But, hope you guys enjoyed this game with the new Plasma Klinklang. We'll have more videos for you soon. I'm Pooka here from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.